I had a conversation with Vila on the Red Bull X Fighters after party. I believe it was one of the most important conversations of my whole career. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't even remember it because, you know, it was an after party. Nobody remembers what happens.
Hi and welcome to the Riders Lounge podcast. I'm Steve Sommerfeld, your host for today's online chat with another of Freestyle Motocross's top riders and one who has actually just picked up his 5th Brazilian FMX Championship all the way from Sao Paolo in Brazil. It's Fred Kyrillos. Now, while we're still in a holding pattern of no events, I'm stoked Fred was able to put the tools down and jump on for a chat to talk about this latest competition and how he felt to ride in the middle of COVID without a crowd and to stand on top of the box again in a country with such a deep pool of talent in freestyle motocross. When I look at Brazil's freestyle motocross scene, it still feels a lot like when I was riding in Australia. There are a lot of riders. There's a lot of old guys. There's a lot of new guys always coming through. And it's good to see they are still putting on a national competition every year and even having some international flavor thrown into the mix. So I'm sure as most of the followers on this podcast, you're already following freestyle motocross pretty closely anyway, and you've probably already heard of Fred. But if you haven't heard of the name, he's been in almost every single major event going around at one point in time or another, from Night of the Jumps to X Games, Red Bull X Fighters, Nitro World Games, and anything in between. He's one of those guys who has learned a lot from the big events, and he brought that knowledge back to Brazil to help push not just himself, but everybody else around him and continue building the sport there. I don't want to pigeonhole this episode too much to a point in time. It's all about being evergreen. So if you're listening to this in the future, yeah, we're in the middle of a pandemic still, and Fred has made some changes to adapt to this new scenario, and it sounds like it's really working out for him. He's flat out creating all new content, and that adaptation is paying off big time for him to continue riding his dirt bike, riding for fun, and then waiting for the world to go back to normal. He's not going out and getting a real job. He just changed how riding a dirt bike can support him. Fred was actually one of the first 16 riders I asked to join the FMX World Championship Series with Night of the Jumps and TIMX. This is motocross. And unfortunately, he just wasn't good enough to beat out Eric Ruiz from Mexico to advance in the competition. But Fred was one of the first guys to put his hand up, and he could see the benefit to not only playing the video game, but the content that can be derived from it, and to keep his sponsors happy during a time of where nothing else was actually just happening in the world. So I want to say a huge thank you to my sponsors as well for this podcast. And as you all know, I'm all about taste testing the fine German beers, and Rothaus from the Black Forest region of Germany is my beer of choice. And what's better is they have the alcohol-free version of the Tannenzäpfler beer range, which, if you have given Dry January a go, this makes it so much easier. The alcohol-free version tastes just like the real deal. The only difference you'll see is the color of the bottle cap and the label. Other than that, I wouldn't even know the difference. I also want to say a huge thanks to Spect Eyewear, who have sent me up some incredibly comfy goggles. My old goggles were actually starting to hurt the bridge of my nose, and I was getting pretty over it, to be honest. And I didn't have any expectations when the new Whip goggles from Spect came, but honestly, I was like, that's the comfiest fit I've had in a really long time. I also have a brand new website up, and now you can win one of 3 pairs of Spect sunglasses on there. Just check out the new website, which was built by my good friends and one of my longest supporters, Lakes Networking. Just go to ridersloungepodcast.com for all the details. Thank you all for tuning in for this latest episode. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot about adapting to real-world changes from Fred's experience. Here's some pretty cool stories and one of the most important pieces of advice he received from a legend of freestyle motocross, and how creating content has changed his direction in the sport. This is Fred Kyrillos. thank you so much for joining for this episode of the Riders Lounge podcast. It's awesome to have you. It's been a little while since I saw you. Was in Munich, Germany. What was that 2018 when
Yeah,
we saw
pretty
each other
much.
last?
Thank you for having me here. And yeah, I think so.
Man, that was one crazy event actually back then. We'll get to that a little bit later, but right now, what's relevant, what's on topic is you are now the 5-time Brazilian freestyle motocross champion. How does that feel?
Yes, I am. Uh, Feels good, definitely. Feels like I uh, feels like I did a good job. Like I had the right decisions and all my hard work paid off pretty much here in Brazil. I know a lot of countries nowadays doesn't have like a national contest, and we pretty lucky to have and to be able to achieve another championship was awesome.
Mate, that's brilliant. And you were up against Javier Viegas again.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a Brazilian FMX Championship, but Javier's been there at least a couple of times that I know of.
Yes.
What's it like to have Javier there, competing against him and, of course, against everybody else in Brazil?
Yes, they always bring on an international rider. That's uh, that's how it is. Like we had a few years that they have, I think, four riders, but I think because of budget and stuff, they cut it for one. Anyway, always compete with a guy like him or any other international rider or ex world class champion. It's it's tough and it's pretty awesome. It gets competition to another level, and that's what we're looking for as a riders. I think it's for me it's great. You know, it's like a really important achievement, and for the whole Brazilian scene, it's pretty good because it shows to the new guys uh, how is like a real contest. You know, how is the what it
Like what
takes
the
to
level is, yeah, what it
yeah
takes to get there.
what it takes to be able to ride in international contests because I know it's what everybody dreams to, but sometimes people don't know how hard it is to. So
Yeah.
it's good, you know, and you can tell after that who are the riders who are willing to go for and who are the riders who will just stay local, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, because Brazil has a huge amount of riders, there's so many guys there over the years.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's really cool that you have this Brazilian FMX competition, the championship.
Yeah.
It helps you. I mean, you're now 5-time Brazilian FMX champ. That works quite well when we're putting together a press release.
Yes.
It's and it's also good, to have Javier there. He brings that little bit of star power to the competition. But this is now the second time you've beaten Javier, maybe more. I don't know, but just to say, on that day in the conditions, I know he had a little bit of a crash. He went pretty big on a massive underflip and just had a
Uh-huh.
little washout. But even to say, okay, look, you did so well. You put the pressure on Javier, and you came out on top.
Yeah, it's always good to ride with him. He's definitely one of the hardest contenders out there, and man, it feels good to be able to compete on this level. You know, I think for me, it's more I think it was my goal way before to be able to compete on an international level than to win or to lose. I mean, win or lose is more like the results of stuff,
Yeah.
but being able to be one of these guys is what keeps me going, you know. That's because
To be there.
when you ride on this top level, or uh, when you're riding on a top level, I would say like this contest level, or maybe highest level on another event. I don't know. Uh, the guys are so close, you know, that anything could happen, and anyone could win or lose. Maybe uh, something happened, you get nervous, the other guy crash, whatever. But just from being able to be on this level, this is crazy for me, because when I first started riding, I rode just for fun when I was a kid. Like none of my family members used to ride, and their bike for me was like just like a something to do to have fun with an old clapped out bike, and no no not no goals, but never imagined to be a professional rider.
Yeah.
And dude, after a lot of years actually, and a lot of hard work, really hard work, being able to ride a bike for a living and compete like this, it's crazy. This is what I
That's
live
it.
for, actually.
That is absolutely perfect. And you're absolutely right, I think. To get to that level is already the achievement. And especially in
Yeah,
freestyle motocross, you've got 5 judges or 3 judges or one judge, however many. And it just depends on what they say. Like,
yeah.
and everybody's different. So even just to be there, it's freaking awesome. So no, well done either way.
Thank you.
Um, you've been around for a fairly long time, and yeah, obviously you've got some rewards there as well. I watched the competition actually between your run and Javier's run, and the runs were almost the same. It looked like he was stealing your tricks or something like that. But I loved seeing you did the lazy boy flip with a little
Uh-huh.
look over, just like Javier does. I love when he does that one. And I
Yeah,
saw you did that. I was like, oh, nice one.
yeah. It was a joke only. It was more like a joke.
Yeah. Look
We
good.
had because we had one since the whole COVID stuff. We couldn't have the crowd, so no crowd around, and we had one of the judges who was supposed he was looking for an energy, you know.
Yeah.
So he was like the crowd. He was, uh,
Oh,
you
no.
know,
Okay.
he was put like in this place,
To judge
and
the energy of the crowd, and
the
there's no
energy
crowd
of the
to judge.
crowd and everything. Yeah. So it was more like a joke, more like uh, a way to make him more pumped.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
the funny thing
our
was,
we
oh,
have
sorry.
we have like some similar tricks, but other pretty different ones too.
Yeah, I didn't see the front flip. No
Yeah,
front flip ramp in that one.
last year we had the front flip ramp, and I, I actually I went for the front flip, landed the first one and crashed the second one, broke my neck, which was pretty nasty.
Oh yeah.
And it was crazy because I didn't realize I broke it, and I still there on the contest. I almost tried to ride, and I was like, I don't know.
No way.
I think I'll save for the next year. And I sit there, watch the whole contest, and then when I stand up to get to the car to go home, I was like really sore, and I was like, you know what? I think I better go to the hospital. It's next kind of serious, so we better go check it. And then when I went there, they realized I have a crack, not a crack, a fracture on my C7.
Shit.
And it was pretty shitty, pretty scary because for the first day I didn't know if I would have to have surgery or not.
Oh.
And luckily I have a stable fracture, didn't have to have surgery, just rested for 2 months, and
Yeah.
then I was good to go. And yeah,
Man.
this year no front flip ramps. I don't know. I don't really know why, but they didn't want to. They already told the riders there wasn't going to have front flip ramp like way before, so there was no reason to be doing it.
Yeah.
Just
If there was a ramp at this event, would you have done another front flip?
uh I think so. Like probably yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Because that was a huge crash. I remember seeing the video. That was massive.
Yes, it was a bad one. But I did everything right. I just tagged it a little bit. So I knew what I did wrong. I wouldn't do it again. The only thing is, I kind of promised that I wasn't going to front flip again, but you know,
Who did you promise that to?
to myself.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I also heard Travis Pastrana say he was never going to do a double backflip again, and
yeah,
you
but
know he
his Travis.
did. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing, you know. You
Yeah,
still just want to ride and have fun and push your limits.
dude. Yeah, I know it's crazy, and sometimes it sucks because uh once you there, like laying on the ground or on the hospital, you are
Yeah.
just like, dude, why do I do this? Why do I keep doing it? Makes no sense. But once you're there on your best form, riding, have fun, there's no reason to not do it. So it's yeah, it's crazy.
I'm hearing you, man. I'm hearing you. It's
I
yeah,
think I think everybody feels the same.
I think it's like that. Maybe I'm gonna say one day. Maybe it's one full day where I'm like, oh, why the hell did I do that? Why am I even doing this? What,
Hmm.
like, I could do anything else. And then the next day, all right, if I fix the handlebars and get a new pipe, and yeah, maybe I can't wait. 2 months, really? 2 months? Maybe I can ride in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you forget all about it and you just want to ride again. So no.
Yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
addictive.
I guess there's two riders from the Brazilian FMX Championship this year who probably are going through this exact same thing right now. There was two crashes. Was it Jeff Campacci
Yep,
and Tata Pellegrino?
yep, yeah. They both
What
crashed.
could you explain what happened there? Because I saw the video of Tata's crash, which was he was going for something really cool. It sucks he came up short. But yeah, if you can explain that would be much better than
Yeah,
my words.
yeah. He went for a transfer landing through landing to landing and came up short and had a nasty one. And
Because he was trying to jump from the down ramp of one jump to the down ramp of the other.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't really far, but the way he crashed it was bad because since we already had practice on, the landing was really hard packed already. So,
Yeah.
and he went way straight to the bottom, like
Ah,
when he bounced and went kind of over the bars, but all the way to the bottom of the landing, and it was really hard packed. It
yeah.
hurts.
Yeah, for
And
sure. Like what it looked
yeah,
like in the video to me, like he kind of transferred from the landing, which has got no takeoff, of course. Like it's just
yeah,
like jumping a flat loading ramp onto a truck, basically. You just take
yeah,
off and with a bit of speed, and then try and get over the knuckle, like the side of the landing. But he just was like 1 meter short, 2 meters short, and poof, that didn't look
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and the side of the landing was pretty soft, so it just holded, the rear end of the bike.
Yeah.
It was bad.
And
And
what happened to
Jeff,
Jeff? Yeah.
yeah, Jeff was riding really good. Like he was riding the best I have ever seen his riding.
Really?
Yeah, I
That's cool.
think maybe because he was away from contests for a while, he was more pumped. I don't know, but he was like, you can tell the guy was uh, like wanting to ride.
Yeah.
When the guy was riding because he has to ride, and when he really wants to ride, and he was like that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, uh, he kind of under rotate a little bit on a Superman flip, on a super flip.
Yeah.
He tried to hold a little bit more and under rotate a little bit, and then I think I didn't see what happened. But something happened with his leg. I don't know if he just uh, got stuck on the foot peg or something on the
Yeah.
landing. He didn't actually crash. He rode away,
Ah,
but he broke his tibia, left tibia.
okay.
Had to have
Yeah.
surgery, and it wasn't a clean break. He couldn't put the rod. He had to put the blade with a bunch of screws.
Yeah. Ah,
So
damn. So, have you heard from those guys since? Are they in that
uh,
frame of mind where you're thinking, yeah, when can we ride again?
yeah, I mean I haven't talked to them since the Monday after
Oh
because I
yeah.
was just checking on. But I believe they are like that. Yeah, for sure.
No, I can imagine. So you're quite lucky, I think, in Brazil in a way. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier. You seem to have quite a lot of government support for events in Brazil.
Yeah,
Um, is that something that just helps you to get more events there, that keeps your sponsors happy, that there's more events coming, the government gets behind? Obviously, you've got the Brazilian FMX Championships. We've had Night of the Jumps World Championships have been there. X Games have been there. You,
yeah.
you're quite lucky in a way. Are you pretty busy throughout the year?
Yes, yes. I think we are. We have some. I know the government helps with international stuff uh, through uh, the
The
tourism
tourism, yeah.
tourism stuff. I know they help they have a big influence on bringing events, not just sports events, but music, culture, all this kind of stuff. I'm not really into politics, but I know how some stuff works and some I don't. But from what I know, they do help in big events, which is pretty cool because we have the opportunity to uh, not just ride events, but to understand and to learn a lot. I was really lucky to be in the first X Games here in Brazil.
Whoa.
Uh, yeah,
Was that 2013
nine.
Foz do
No,
Iguaçu or something?
that was the second one. Actually, that
Ah,
was the
second.
third one. I
Oh,
was
whoa, my
the,
timeline's way out.
yeah, the very first one we didn't have model, so I wasn't on this one. It was
Yeah.
like a Latin X Games or something like that. It was way back. I didn't go to that one. But the first one was in Sao Paulo in 2009,
Ah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the very next week we had X Fighters in Rio. So we had two huge events. It was crazy because we had like I was like uh, getting started with the freestyle, and then every like the top very top riders came out here like Nate Adams, Todd Porter, Villa, Matt Ribot, Twitch, everybody, and I was like, no way. I thought I was riding good, and then they came here. I was like, dude, I need to learn how to ride, and it was pretty good. I remember I had a conversation with Villa on the Red Bull X Fighters after party, and I believe it was one of the most important conversations of my whole career. And
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't even remember it because, you know, it was an after party. Nobody remembers what happens. But I went through, we were talking, whatever, and I went, hey, Andre, because he was super nice to me. I mean, everybody was, but he was like really, he saw I was struggling on the course because X
yeah.
fighters are used to be like really
Man, they're
hard
gnarly.
course, and he was really nice to me. And I was, hey, what do you think about the Brazilian riders? My riding, I was trying to get some like feedback, and he was straight up like he just told me that like you guys need to work harder.
Whoa,
Yeah, straight
there you
up.
go.
And I was like, holy shit, that's true. That's for real.
That's
And
it.
that's
That
that
sounds
was
like an
like,
Andre Villa response. That
yeah,
sounds like what he would say.
yeah. And it was insane. Like it was good because that's what I really was looking for, a real feedback, not some ego stuff. I
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh,
get
you're
like for real.
awesome. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
And,
good. Good to
and
hear.
it was good because it changed my mind a lot. I planned like uh my California stuff because being in Brazil, the closest place is obviously California. Like it's cheaper and closer than Europe. So I
Yeah.
planned everything. I was like, dude, if I want to compete, if I want to ride at this guy's level, I need to practice with them. So that's when that was a really turn point for me.
Man, that is awesome. That's actually really good to hear.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
because that's basically what everyone needs to know. The work that goes in to be at that level is like it's more than a full-time job. It's you got to
Yeah,
do it. You've got to be in it 100% to get close. And I know Andre Villa is like one of those guys who just, yeah, in his heyday, I remember watching videos of him, and yep, that's what it was. Just work, 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 and he was one of the best.
yeah. And I'm not even talking about doing double front flips, or I mean double back flips and whatever every day. I'm just like talking about being competitive. I don't know, like on a normal level. Uh, I don't know if if I put in the right word, but like just to be one of the, I don't know, uh, 20, 30 guys out there who can like ride events
Yeah. To
worldwide.
be
It's
solid.
tough already.
Oh man, it's ridiculous already. Like to be even in the top 10,
Yeah,
you've got to
it's
throw
crazy.
down ridiculous tricks. To be in the top 50, like there's so many guys that are doing
So
such
many
big
guys.
tricks right now.
Yeah.
And the sport just keeps on progressing. The funny thing is, tricks that you just did last weekend or the weekend before, you would have won X Games gold medals 15 years ago. Um, but
It's
now
crazy.
you have to do it with no crowd because of COVID, and do something special for a judge for energy when there's no crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Strategy.
crazy where it goes.
Yeah. You have to have strategy.
Exactly. So you actually mentioned about USA, and I was going to ask you about that. You are a lot of the time, most of the time, you're based in Brazil. Have you made a move to America to really get set up? Obviously, Javier has done that from Chile. He made the big move and now lives in America full time. Is
Hmm.
that something that you have done on a smaller scale, or that you plan to do full time to get to America?
Yeah, my plan was a little different. I figured that it was really important for me to go to America for practice and to get to know people, ride with people, uh, know industry people, ride events, all this stuff.
Mm,
But I also understood that uh, in America, I would be like another rider, and here in my home base, it I would be Fred, because you know that's where I'm from.
yeah.
And since I always had a Brazilian sponsor, at least one, I always had to spend time here in Brazil. So I always keep like back and forward when I set up a spot over there, had my bikes, had my car, my van, everything,
Yeah.
and I just keep like I would stay there for 2 months and then come back to Brazil for I don't know 3 4 months and then go back there, and it all depends on events, on sponsors, and everything. Because I never wanted to leave Brazil because I think it was important to stay here, and I really believe that that was really smart for me to do it, and I never really want to move full time because uh, yeah, I understood that was important, and also I have uh, my company here.
Okay.
I do like the freestyle shows. I pretty
Yeah.
much put the shows for my sponsors. They are my biggest clients, but I also have some other clients, which are the arena cross people, the people that they set up the arena cross here in Brazil. We
Yeah.
put the show for them on the event. The Brazilian motorcycle confederation. We also put some shows for them, and yeah, I have always had to be uh, back and forth, and I also had to be like rider, promoter,
You're
everything
wearing.
together. Like
Yeah.
manager, everything. Because I understood that no one would understand this job more than I do here in Brazil, because I had the opportunity to uh, to see the events, see Night of the Jumps, Farm Jam, uh, X Games, X Fighters, road shows everywhere. So I understand how it works, and I understand how Brazil works. So I think you know uh, I can mix everything together on a better way.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Brazil is massive. It's the biggest country in South America.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people, there's a lot of cities, there's a lot of shows out there to be done. And yeah, you're lucky. You've got so your three main sponsors, I guess, right now are Ipiranga,
yeah. It's a
Monster,
Ipiranga.
and Honda.
Yeah, Ipiranga is a petrol company. I
That's
think one.
huge.
It's yeah,
Free
yeah.
fuel, or you got the
No,
fuel card and cruise around. Oh.
no. I wish. That's what everybody asks me. But no, I used to be sponsored for uh, the gas actually company, only Ipiranga. Now I'm from Ipiranga Lubes, which is
For the oils
the
and
oil
everything
stuff,
like it.
which is the same company actually. I just with a different department,
Yeah.
but I've been with them with over 10 years now. It's a
Wow.
really good relationship, and it's it's really good on all different ways, because not just the support, the money, but also they uh, they use my image as an
Yeah.
investor. Yeah, not just an athlete, uh, but also an ambassador for their brand. So it's great
Are
for an
there like
athlete.
so is there like cardboard cutouts of Fred Kyrillos in
Yeah, on
in
the
petrol
oil
stations
station,
or in
not on the
yeah,
petrol station, but on they sell where they sell the oil stuff. Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, it's
Mate,
pretty
you've
cool.
made it. If you've got a cardboard cutout, you've made it.
Thank you. It's good. They have like uh, a different way to communicate with their target, and it really seems like it fits a lot on the way I talk to people.
Yeah,
So our relationship works.
man, it's perfect. And I mean, you've got Monster, you've got Honda as well. They have to be
Yeah,
some pretty
yeah,
big support, I mean, in Brazil, but does that also help when you go to America for those couple of months or when you go to Europe or wherever?
definitely, definitely. I have a lot of help with Monster in America. A lot
Yeah.
of help. Aaron, the guy uh, who take care of us, he always really supportive,
Yeah.
and always helps with everything. Like uh, even if I need cans or help to a trip, or invite me to events like Monster Cup, which is crazy being able to ride a Monster Cup, ride the freestyle stuff. Uh, and Honda, uh, since I signed with Honda, I never went to US because of the COVID, but uh, I think it will be kind of the same stuff, because they have good relationship with Honda America. They already had sent Brazilian riders to ride the Supercross series,
Yeah.
and they have the help from the factory. And the Honda here in Brazil helps a lot. They not just hand me the bikes and help me with the funds for everything, but also they do a lot of social media stuff, which is really important for us.
Yeah.
And they let me ride which bike I want. Like they have like this department that uh, hand bikes to the media people.
Yeah.
And since I live really close to Honda's headquarters here in Sao Paulo, they put me in the list. So if I want a bike, like a street bike, for, I'll say, a week or a month, I just talked to that guy, and he was like, "Okay, you can pick it up tomorrow." Like, it's crazy,
Sweet.
it's awesome. I am with a CB 1000R now for
Oh,
a week.
nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So
What have you got up to with that?
I'm heading to the beach tomorrow
I, was-
because
I was going to say, are you just straight to the
yeah,
beach every day?
yeah, no, I'm gonna spend like 3 days there with my girl because we were like non-stop uh riding for the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and we have no relax time, you know.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna have like a few days over there because she has some work to do, uh, and I have work to do later on the week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're heading there tomorrow.
Man, the joy of getting those bikes. So it's kind of like a magazine sort of deal. I remember
Yeah,
when I was working with Freerider magazine in Australia, and then I don't think I did any tests with ADB, but especially with Freerider, I just loved that. Yeah, we've got some new bikes, and this was from all the manufacturers. Yeah,
crazy,
here's the
huh?
bikes, test it. And you're like, what? No way! Like if I was more involved with Freerider at the time, which would have been awesome, if I knew I could just line up all the different bikes for each week or month or something, I would never have to buy a bike. I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah, pretty
easy.
much. Easy, easy. And
No, that's
that's what they
really cool.
want. They want you media people to, to love their bike.
Exactly. And well, this is actually another thing I was going to ask you anyway, because without events in the last almost 1 year now, you have had a couple of events, and especially last weekend.
Hmm.
But of course, you've got these three major sponsors and a bunch of others, I'm sure. Um, they're not seeing, Fred Kyrillos on his bike doing an event.
Yeah,
What are you doing for content to keep your sponsors happy right now? Because I know you're pretty flat out on Instagram.
yeah. Oh man, that was uh since the COVID came out and everything was getting shut off, and uh, and the situation was like uh, where everybody was supposed to uh, be inside, to stay
Yeah.
home. For the first, I think, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think 2 weeks, I was at home too. I was really scared, I would say, because
Mm.
nobody knew what the virus was and nobody understood everything. Anyway, I was there and I was thinking, like, dude, it's gonna be like really bad. Like, it's gonna be serious because Brazilian economy is not as stable as other countries. Even we are a
Yeah.
huge country and we have a lot of commodity stuff, which is
Yeah.
support our bases. Uh, our economy, we have a lot of up and downs, and knowing that, I was like, it's gonna everybody being home, it's gonna
Mm.
kill the the uh, uh, the money flow. People
Yeah.
will
Yeah. Exactly.
stop doing stuff, and so less people buying gas means less money to Ipiranga, less people buying energy drink, less money for Monster, and that how it was supposed to go, I would say. Or that
Yeah.
I was looking for. That how I was
How you
looking
kind
for the
of
situation.
saw it. Yeah.
And I believe, like, at that time I was like, dude, it gonna be some cuts, and I don't wanna be one of the guys being cut off my
Yeah.
stuff. So I start to planning a lot of stuff and thinking. And I have a good friend of mine uh, who I was chatting to, and he was like, "Dude, everybody's at home now. Uh, you need to create content. I know people are going crazy with lives and stuff, but maybe try to do something more official or more well done." And then the first thing I did was the lives. I did like five, four lives with another riders, good riders. But
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't only did the live. I line up with the sponsors, with everybody to have more people watching.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I was like, dude, I need to do more stuff. And then we start to do some content, some video contents, shootings, dude, all kinds of stuff. I line up Ferrari,
I saw that.
and we did like a drag race against the Ferrari, and it was like pretty crazy because uh, none of that was set up. It was like a real deal,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, and the driver, it's a guy, friend of mine who drives for Monster. We have like filming crew who was like really pumped, and everything worked pretty good. So, dude, it was good actually because I was already trying to make a move to more like a creator content kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and it was a perfect timing for that. I think
Yeah.
I was lucky because I was already looking more professional at my digital side, social media and stuff. And
Yeah.
when the shows went down, I was able to uh, substitute the shows to digital content.
Silver linings.
Yeah,
It worked out quite well in the end, which is
yeah,
awesome. I mean, like I said, I see you on Instagram and I see on YouTube. You're pumping out a lot of content, and it
we're
looks good.
trying. Yeah, we're trying. Thank you. It's hard because it takes a lot of work. It takes more effort than set up a mobile landing, airbag landing, and a ramp and just jump for a few people. But
Yeah, exactly. 30-minute show. It's what, 30 minutes setup or maybe less setup.
yeah,
Do 20, 30 minute show. You get out of there. Job
dude,
done. One day, tops.
top. Yeah, and now with the airbag landing, everything's way, way more simple. Like I, I don't know. You know how everybody is always a little bit scared with the ramp landing, first jump
Yeah.
especially. You don't
Oh,
have that
yeah.
anymore. And I used to have to drive ar- drive around with a truck, like the full truck,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
semi,
Yeah.
but a full truck. And now I put everything on my van, the the
Nice.
the airbags, the ramp on the bike, and you're good to go. Way cheaper.
So you've just got the van with the airbag in and your bike, and I'm guessing your ramp on a trailer
Yeah,
behind,
the ramp
and
on the
that's it.
trailer. I put the
Yeah.
ramp on the trailer and my bike inside the ramp, under the ramp,
Oh, okay.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Because inside the van you need the airbags and the generator, the blowers,
Yeah.
everything that can go outside.
How big's the van, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it's the shortest from Renault.
Oh, okay.
but it's short. It's not the biggest one. That's
Yeah.
why because since I live in the town,
Ah,
that's
yeah.
that's my car. That's the one I drive every day. So you don't want like a huge one.
You
Uh,
don't want a huge sprinter in the middle of Sao Paulo in
yeah,
Brazil.
yeah, that would be awesome for the events, definitely. But to drive around, can't. Maybe
Yeah.
later. Maybe I'll trade. I would like to trade for a bigger one, but now I need to keep that one.
Man. But that's
But
cool. That's
works,
cool
yeah,
that you've made the
works.
transition. Yeah, it's cool that you made the transition from the events straight into the content creation. It all looks really good, and
Yeah.
keeping those sponsors happy for now. Actually, you just mentioned that you're in the city of Sao Paulo. What's it like to live there? There's so many people. I think we just discussed what 12 million
Yeah,
people in
12
Sao
million.
Paulo. Man,
Yeah,
how
well,
do you get to ride? Where do you ride? Where can you ride?
yeah, I like my riding spot is like almost 1 hour away.
Okay,
It's yeah, 40 minutes away, which is not bad. And
it's pretty good.
yeah, and it's like nothing like São Paulo. It's completely different. Well, you guys probably have seen on the Instagram stuff. That's where I spend
Oh
most
yeah,
of my days.
yeah,
But I don't know, man. I like this place. I like São Paulo. That's my hood. That's where I grew up, and I kind of live on a strategic area because for me to get to the freeway is pretty close. So I don't really deal with a lot of traffic.
yeah,
So, but I like it. I mean, I understood that if I need to get another place like a different base, not a different
yeah,
house, but a different base, it's better for me that this base is in California, you
yeah.
know, not just São Paulo and other town in Brazil. Doesn't make sense. So I I stay in São Paulo when I'm in Brazil, and because I have everything here, pretty much all the companies that I deal with are here, so it
Makes
helps
sense.
too. It
Yeah,
helps.
exactly. Man, you've been doing this for a really long time.
Yeah.
I've seen your name flashed about for a very, very long time. I think from way back when Jose Gaspar was
Uh-huh.
writing stories for ESPN, and all over Freestyle MTX and everything like that. Have you still got the same passion from? I mean, how long have you been doing freestyle now? It's a long time.
Yeah, I think 15 years, something around 15 years.
Yeah. And there's a lot of riders in Brazil. I know
Yeah.
Jose writes about a lot of different riders. We've seen a lot come through. Um, yeah, what's it like to just still push it in 2021?
Yeah. I ask myself sometimes the same question, but on the end of the day, I just love writing. I just do it because I love it, and everything that happens around, it's a consequence. I I love to design my day around writing. That's awesome for me. Uh, I understand the risks, and not just the risks but the downsides that comes with, because the longer you the longer you spend time writing, the latest you start uh, after career job, I would say.
Yeah,
But at the same time, maybe we can find a way to invent an after career job. Maybe this social media and this ambassador thing works on a good way, because I know I won't be able to be riding, to be competing for much more time. I don't even want that. I understand that
Well,
already.
I'm in the back of my mind as you're saying that right now. I thought, well, who does that remind me of? And you mentioned his name, one of the most influential conversations you ever had with Andre Villa. Mate, you
Yeah,
could be doing Dancing with the Stars, Fred Kyrillos Brazilian version.
dude,
Oh,
I had some crazy offers,
oh yeah,
like, yeah, reality show stuff, but I don't know. I don't feel like that.
yeah,
Uh, Not for me, I think, yeah, yeah. I'm for real. I think like, uh, I don't know. I don't know how to dance. I know Andre is a pretty good dancer. I don't know, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't Dance with the Stars. It was some different deal,
I got it.
like
Yeah.
really like big deal. But
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I should be more involved in the sport area. Like I really look up to guys like Twitch and Andre. Uh,
Yeah.
I think Twitch does a major work on the social media stuff. He's still like super influent, and
Yeah.
he's not riding contests for like, I don't know, 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
and he still keeps like his stuff up, his stuff up every day, I really look up to him, and also look up to Andre because I know he does a lot of events promotion stuff.
Yeah.
He put up the shows. He was involved with the X Games at his his
Yeah. In
country.
Norway. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I always like it, the business side of the freestyle, how to turn this passion into real work. How to keep making it,
Yeah.
make keeping it real, because on the end of the day, we 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 uh, we have to pay the bills and everything like everybody else. So I don't know. I still figuring it out, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll
I,
see what
those,
happens.
those guys show it to me, like there is some ways to keep that up. Other guys too.
Ex-
That a lot of people, Matt Ribot, I don't know, a lot of people.
exactly. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And yeah, I mean, you can't ride forever. So
Yeah,
yeah, it sounds like everything's working out quite well. Like you said before, you've got to do everything now. You are the rider, you are the promoter, you're the
yeah,
marketing guy, you're
yeah.
coming up with content. Um,
Not
you
easy, huh? Not
No,
easy.
no, it sounds
Um,
like there's a bit of stress there.
yeah, it's a lot of work. It's what I enjoy.
Man, that's what I like to hear. You've ridden a lot of events, though. I wanted to find out when you get the invites. You've already said about X Games, and there was X Fighters as well. There's been Night of the Jumps in Brazil. You're still getting these invites. Does that ever get old? To have X Games come to your country for you to ride there. What does it feel like?
Man, when X Games came here, the very first time, I wasn't. I was like, I didn't even know what real freestyle was at that time, and it was pretty good because teach. I think not just me, but everybody here, what freestyle was like. for real, you know.
Yeah.
Like it was a good lesson. And on the second one, I was already more prepared. I was riding better. I had contact with uh, international riders before, so I could enjoy more. You know,
Yeah.
I could enjoy more, and did all the night of the jumps. I like what I like the most on the night of the jumps is the whole experience. You know, because just to just to drive to that place and ride your own bike and stuff, it's one deal. When you go to a different country with a bag full of parts and you know, then all the adventure starts there, and you have a whole lot of stuff to do. You have to get the bike, build the bike, of course, and thankfully with the help with Mini, but build the bike and uh, feel everything, feel different ramps, ride the tiny arena. Dude, it's so cool. It's so different from what I used to, but at the same time, I don't know, it's so cool.
Man, exactly. Actually, I mean, I probably rode, I can't remember how many I rode. Not that many, definitely not more than 10. But it was always so different to come to a small arena and all the different ramps, and you're just like, oh, crap. All right,
Yeah,
I got to remember every ramp here, and there's not much time to get ready and to get used to it all.
yeah,
So chucking your parts on a different bike. Actually, I think the first time I've only ever been to Brazil once,
uh huh,
and that was for the night of the jumps. I think it was 2015 in Caraguatatuba,
uh
and
huh,
that took me a long time to remember that name.
yeah,
That was I had to do the intro video, and actually there was a surfing. I think it was like the World Surfing
uh huh,
Championships were that weekend, the
yeah,
same
nearby,
weekend.
uh huh,
Yeah, like 45 minutes, 1 hour away. And
yep,
so Martin Zollner from Dead Sailor, he's the main video guy. And he's
uh
like,
huh,
oh, we're going to get in a taxi and we're going to go to the surfing place and we'll do the intro there. Okay, no problem. And I had to say, hi and welcome to, Night of the Jumps here in
kind of what the,
Caraguatatuba. Oh, man, that
yeah,
took me,
it's hard.
I don't know, 50 goes, 50 times we were talking to locals, trying to get the correct pronunciation for the word and just to get all of the letters together. I'm like, fuck, Kagarawa. Oh, man. But yeah,
It's
after
hard,
about
huh?
50 goes.
Even for us, it's hard. It's a
Oh,
tough one.
good. It's not just me.
No,
Man.
don't blame
So
yourself.
that part was hard. The second part of being in Brazil was so Martin's big idea
Were you
was
able
like
to surf?
that was my second problem. I have never surfed before,
Because you're an
and
Aussie, there's a lot of good surfers from Australia, right?
yeah, apparently there are, but I
Yeah.
don't know them. I ride dirt bikes. I don't surf.
Uh huh.
Probably I could count on two hands how many times I've been to the beach, and yeah. So he's like, "Oh, okay." And that day it was actually the weather was horrible. The waves were huge, and they cancelled the surfing that day, the competition. And so Martin's like, hey, Steve, no problem. You can actually go out on the same bit of water and we'll do the intro. Like, just jump up, just jump on the board and surf in, and then we can start the video. I'm like, I have never surfed. So he's actually pretty good. So I had a German teaching me as an Australian how to surf for the first time in
Oh man.
Brazil. And I guess it was at least 1 hour that I was out, like paddling, trying to get up. And I think I stood up for about 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. It was enough to get the video,
Nice.
and then I was done. I'm like, all right, that's it. My surfing career's started
It's
and
done.
it's finished. I'm done. So
You,
yeah,
you, sorry.
yeah. I was just saying, like, I really remember Karagawata Tuba. I learnt to
Yeah.
say the name. I learnt to surf there, and that's about it. Because actually, that competition was cancelled as well for us. The
Yeah,
weather was
because of the
horrible.
rain.
You did it. You guys rode in the rain like the Brazilian riders. You had like a qualification
Yeah.
to get into World Championships, and you guys did it the night before, but the World Champs didn't happen. It just didn't stop raining.
Yeah, and we rode. It was pretty wet when we rode. I remember.
Oh man, there was water everywhere.
Yeah, I remember we had to fire up the ground, so it was like to dry
Oh yeah,
to dry it up. But
yep.
yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. I think it was really important for the other Brazilian riders to get a chance to you know to to ride this event, to qualify, even if they don't qualify, just to you know to experience that, and then after that, if you really want to, or if you just kind of want to.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were talking about surfing, and I remember when I went to Munich for the night of the jumps.
Oh yeah.
The
Yep.
day after, I went to that river where they surf,
Yeah, in Munich.
in Munich. Yeah, just
Nice.
to watch. Of course, it was freezing cold, but I think that's why they surf so good.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool little spot. And for anybody listening that has no idea what you just were talking about, Munich is not next to the sea.
Yeah.
Munich is landlocked. But
Yep.
there's this stream that comes through. I think it's the middle of the English Garden. I think it's called. And the water just comes out under the bridge, and it's just perfectly shaped that there's a
Some rock.
wave
I think
always.
because of the rocks underneath.
Exactly. Yeah, there's rocks underneath, and it's perfectly set up, and you can just surf all day, every day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's Munich, and the water is freezing cold. I think
Dude.
it's still freezing cold even in the middle of summer.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But it's Germany, so you can just sit right next to it, and you can drink a beer and watch everybody wear
Sure.
wetsuits and surf in the middle of Germany.
Yeah, it
So
was fun.
can you surf then? You should. I'm guessing this is like everybody thought I could, and I couldn't. Can you?
Nah, barely. I used to do some wakeboarding before, but then I broke my ankle and tore my both ACL, and I never met with that again.
Yeah.
But I used to. I have a good friend of mine who was he's like a 10 times Brazilian wakeboard champion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I used to wakeboard with him just
Yeah.
for fun, because my riding spot was close to his place. He has a wakeboarding
Yeah.
school,
Oh
so
sweet.
yeah, it was fun. But now I can't. This body of mine is way too broken.
Oh man, I'm actually the same. I wakeboarded a little bit as well, and that's what I thought before I went surfing with Martin. Not surfing, but before I thought I was trying to surf, I was like, yeah, I can wakeboard. Like it's got to be kind of the same. No, it's
No,
completely different. Like
yeah,
there's just nothing there.
yeah,
Yeah, actually, now that I'm remembering back, when we finished um, getting that first intro shot of me trying to surf and failing spectacularly, We drove back in the taxi, and all we listened to was the Beach Boys. Like I was just some big pro surfer. Oh my god! Oh, that was so damn funny. That was horrible. But yeah, I mean, coming back to Munich, 2018. You must have been feeling a little bit sore. You've had a lot of crashes at events because
Yeah.
in training you came up short on a front flip, I think it was again, and had a huge crash. Was it the front flip?
In Munich?
Yeah.
Sorry, in Munich, you say?
Yeah, in Munich.
Oh no,
You had a
yeah, I was when you got a hold with me and invite me over to the night of the jumps. I was like, dude, uh, I'm I need to front flip again, because I have already done a Nitro
yeah.
2017. And so
Oh yeah, at the World Games at Nitro.
World Games, yeah. So I built the ramp and started practicing and did a bunch at home, and I was like, dude, it's gonna be fun. I'm ready. So we went to Munich, and I think on the very first practice, I came a little bit short on the just straight jumping. The one of the I don't remember if it was an 8 or a 9
Yeah.
radio ramp,
Mhm.
and dude had a nasty crash. Like I wasn't
That's
expecting to case, and
and I
then
think
dude, it
if
was
I
a bad
remember
crash.
correctly, I think there was like the foam for the like the
Yeah.
front of the landing on the safety deck kind of cut into where the dirt should have been. So if the dirt was there, you probably wouldn't have crashed, or maybe
I
not as
don't
bad
know.
as it was. I remember I thought you were doing a front flip. No, you came up short and then did a front flip.
And then a front flip straight to my head. And then after that, the whole weekend was like trying to survive stuff
Yeah.
because, dude, I hit my head bad, and I couldn't see straight, and the
Oh
pipe
shit.
was all bent. I think Adelberg had to borrow me lend me a set of handlebars. Dude, it wasn't like I was expecting to, but it is what it is. It
That's it.
happens.
All I remember was loading your bike into a van, and we found somebody like about an
Well, the
hour away
subframe.
from Munich to go bend that bike back into at least some kind of somewhere straight that at least your tire wouldn't, rub up
Yeah,
against the exhaust pipe or something like that.
yeah,
But you got through it. You got there. You got the job done.
yeah, yeah. You work it. It wasn't like I was expecting to, but we made it.
Exactly, man. So I just wanted to know, you've worked out now that the content is kind of the direction you're going in,
Yeah.
and it worked out quite well with COVID. If you weren't riding freestyle motocross, what would you be doing in your life? What would be the next, or let's say a parallel idea or a different idea for Fred Kyrillos? What would you be doing without freestyle motocross?
Right now,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. I don't think. I don't know if. I don't even know if I ever told you, but I went to college and I graduated in marketing.
I
So
did read that. I have
yeah,
read that actually.
so I don't know. Probably without freestyle, I'll probably had to stick with that because But if I was just not able to ride anymore, but still had all my uh, career achievement, I would stay in the ambassador for the brands that sponsor me. That's what I would go for. That's what I'm heading
Yeah.
for actually.
Yep. That's the
But
next goal.
yeah, because I don't see events like the local events coming for 2021. Maybe a few of them, but I don't know. I don't feel like we're gonna have like events like it used to be any sooner.
Yep.
First
Yep.
of all, because we need to vaccine everyone, and second, like every country is struggling with money. Every
Exactly.
economy is 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 not in the best shape. So we know freestyle shows is not a priority.
Nope.
Yeah,
Unfortunately not.
yeah. So you gotta be realist. You know, I
That's
think.
it.
But at the same time, people still need to be entertained. Right? People. Uh,
They want something to look forward to. Come
yeah.
watch us idiots ride a motorbike and crash on front flips,
Yeah. Definitely.
or do a front flip.
Yeah. So yeah. See. We gotta see how it goes. Can't really
Yeah,
tell. We can
that's it. Actually,
just
why
guess.
did you why did you end up doing the PR, or marketing? What was it? Marketing in public relations, I guess, is what you
Oh,
did at
marketing,
university.
marketing. Yeah, no,
Marketing.
it was marketing. Yeah, they're pretty close to PR. I think to since you have like since myself, I have marketing. If I just go there for I think 2 years, I get the PR uh, title.
Yeah.
Not title. I graduate in PR too
Yeah.
because there's cool stuff. But yeah, I went to a college here in Sao Paulo, my town, and it was great. It was good. I remember when I was there, I was pretty young, and I was like, dude, I'm just wasting my time here. I should be riding, you know. But it was so good that I stick to that because I now understand more like how stuff work and how the companies work, what they want, how they want. Uh, Even to just to negotiate with the companies. It helps a
Yeah.
lot. So it was good,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah. It's just funny because I did pretty much the exact same thing. I did a business degree with marketing and management.
Nice.
And what I did when I was at university was I put all of my subjects for, I think I was at uni for 6.5 years. I did a couple of different things. But for every single semester, I put all subjects into 2 days. Like Tuesday and Wednesday were full days,
Uh
or
huh.
Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And then I always had a 5 day weekend. And so I would go and just ride. I would go back home. I'd ride freestyle at mum's house. And yeah, that was it. I was like the smartest person at university because I wasn't there. I did as little as possible to
Yeah.
get through uni. Um, yeah, maybe if I studied more, it probably would have been better. But I just wanted to ride my bike, so I've got my marketing degree and management
Yeah.
degree. I'm happy. I'm out of there. But
You
man, it
gotta find
helps.
your
It helps
balance, right?
now. Exactly. So, what were you thinking? Like before you went into marketing, what was the goal? What did you want to get out of your marketing degree? Where did you think you would go with that?
I actually at that time I didn't really have a plan or something. I was just
Oh, good.
more
Like
about
me.
yeah. I was more about writing, and I knew I always from the very start. I always have been realistic.
Yeah.
You know, I never like fantasy stuff. So I understood that trying to be an athlete uh, in uh, a sport that is like not traditional,
Yeah.
in a country, in a third world country that loves soccer would be tough. Even
Yeah.
I like soccer too, but I know it would be like hard. So I was like, dude, you need to have at least a backup plan so
Yeah.
you don't end up on the streets, you know. So that was pretty much the first way how I look it. But since uh, the college starts and I start to working with company, another big energy drink company that I used to work with for, and I was like start to understanding how I could use all this knowledge from the college on my work, on my job, and I think that was how I could like have more like a business eyes of
Yeah.
stuff. You know, I could understand more uh, the opportunities.
Yeah. Well, man, you've been a realist, you've got your education, you've got a backup plan, but it looks like dreams have come true and you've had a damn good career in freestyle motocross. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very
And yeah, man. And so where to for Fred Kyrillos now? What's the next plan? You're going to go to the beach. You've got the CB 1000.
much. Yeah, I just need to
Hopefully, you keep it a little bit
relax
longer.
a little bit. I've been riding for almost 3 months straight, practicing. I'm really, my whole body is still sore. The week after the contest, I have a lot of interviews lined up because of the event, of course. And
Yeah.
now we have those 3 days to relax. And coming back, I have two filming projects already that we're
Oh, cool.
going for. So yeah, there's a lot of going on for 2021. We have a lot of filming so far. Some projects here for social media stuff, and hopefully, hopefully, uh, stuff goes back to normal, and we can put some shows for the crowd, for the people, because that's one thing I'm missing a lot is to be able to entertain people live. You know, people here,
Yeah.
even people here in Brazil love soccer. They love freestyle motocross. Like literally, they love. You put a show anywhere, anytime. There would be packed people from like uh, kids from like 3, 4 years old to old lady 90 years old will be cheating. Like everybody would love. People really like it. A lot of people have never seen it live, and it's great. I like to bring that to the people and being able to help the young riders. You know, contribute with the a little bit for the young guys. You know, because they are
Yeah.
the ones who will still trailblazing, right?
Exactly. The next generation have to come through and need the old dogs out there like yourself to show them how it's done, that it's possible.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, man,
Is that?
hopefully we see you later on this year. Hopefully we can bring Night of the Jumps, the World Championships, to Brazil.
Yeah.
The yeah, it's firmly underway. Put it that way. I guess we just
Yeah.
have to see what happens with COVID and everything around travel. But hopefully we get there, and hopefully you've got that front flip back down. I want to see you
Yeah. That's for
throwing that
sure.
one down.
Even
Hopefully
something
in
more. Maybe.
oh, are you working on something new?
Uh,
Probably should have asked that question before.
yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Well, I don't want to hold you up any
Yeah,
longer. Obviously, you're getting ready for holidays, a few days off
thank you.
with your girl. So I don't want to cut into your time on that bike as well. So
Don't
thank you
worry.
so much for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. Was a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking to you. Uh, really looking forward to have Night of the Jumps here in Brazil. Not just me, but everyone are the Brazilian riders, the whole Brazilian motorcycle industry. So hopefully we can get it done. It will be uh, awesome for everyone.
Man, I can't wait. It would be so good. And
And the best,
I don't know, maybe I'll try and learn some more. Like, I'll go down to Munich. It's only about 2 hours from here. I will try and maybe learn to surf. So when I get there, hopefully later this year, and we have to do another intro video, I can actually get up on the board this time.
yeah. Well, the best thing is we are kind of far away from the beach, like at least 1.5 hour or 2 hours. So you
Oh,
probably
Martin will make me go.
another kind of intro.
Martin will definitely make us go to the beach to go surfing. Like, I know he'll be like, "Oh, it's warm. Oh, the beach is only 1.5 hours away. We're going." So,
Nice.
awesome. Thank you so much, man. We'll hopefully catch you later on this year.
Definitely, for sure. Thank you.
There you go. Fred Kyrillos has turned those lemons of COVID-19 into lemonade, and it looks like everything is going in the right direction no matter what is happening in the world. I really hope you enjoyed today's chinwag with one of Brazil's finest riders, and you could actually take away some of the positive vibes that Fred seems to have in bucket loads. I'm really looking forward to the chance to get over to Brazil later this year for the World Championships, but also to see him getting ready for more invites to more big events around the world as well. Before you go, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the previous episode or not, but I wanted to let you know that I've finally got the new website built by Lakes Networking, which I already spoke about, and it's ridersloungepodcast.com. I've already put a few articles up already, and one of them is the ramp plans for Levi Sherwood's next gen ramp. I know a lot of riders have been asking about it and looking for it, so I figured I would upload the PDF with all of the dimensions on the new website. So if you're like me in freestyle, you probably remembered when you opened up that Freerider MX magazine way back in like 2001 or 2, and they had a 2-page spread of a brand new 9-meter Aussie comp which Brooksy designed. It was awesome they released it, and it completely changed how Australians looked at FMX. Not just a guessing game with building ramps anymore. It was all about the real dimensions of what every ramp would look like at every competition. So Levi's basically done the same. The plans are up on the ridersloungepodcast.com website. You can download it there and start building your new next gen ramp. Remember, this is the next gen. This is about Levi's vision for the future where there is more airtime. So you'll definitely want to be riding one of the older ramps before you approach this one, I think. If you want to join the revolution and printing the PDF is just too simple, you can also grab yourself a canvas to put up in the shed, or you can go straight to the pool room. It's just that good. Check out the merch while you're there. If you don't want the canvas, there's also a pretty good looking shirt, which I'm sure will get plenty of work as well. And also, while you're on the new website, you can win yourself a pair of new Spect eyewear sunglasses. It's one of the first blog posts on the website. It's not hard to find, but if you do find it difficult, I'll even post a link to the blog post in the description of this podcast. It's simple. To say thank you for listening to the podcast, Spect have helped with a little giveaway, and I'm pumped that they've decided to help out. And lastly, if you're going through dry January and you're almost at the finish line and you're tempted by a beer, my best recommendation is to try out the Rothaus 10 and Zepfler alcohol-free version. It tastes just like the real deal, and you won't feel like dry January is so hard and arduous anymore. For the Aussie listeners, you'll also be pleased to know that the German brewery used a special brewing process designed in Australia to remove the alcohol content without changing the taste, which other beers unfortunately do. So Dry January with Rothaus 10 and Zephyr alcohol free has just gotten so much easier. With that, I'm going to crack another cold one, upload this podcast, and start looking for some of the best footage from Fred Kyrillos, including that front flip crash, and throw it up on the gram so you know what we're talking about. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again very soon on the Riders Lounge podcast.